Okay, so today we're really diving into something I think, well, a lot of us feel. It's that weird thing with family stuff, right? How the past just slams into the present sometimes.
Yeah, it's about that unfinished business,
Yeah.
how your nervous system literally holds on to those moments from, way back when.
We've looked at a bunch of material for this, Gestalt ideas, somatic work, even some neuroscience on trauma.
Right. And our goal, really, is to help you understand why. Why does a simple text, or maybe a certain tone of voice, suddenly make you feel like you're 10 years old again?
Totally. And not just remember it, but like be there.
Exactly.
Mhm.
And maybe more importantly, figure out what you can actually do about it, how to sort of step out of that loop.
Okay, let's start right there. That moment, you're just, I don't know, making coffee, living your adult life, and bang, something hits. A call, a thought, maybe even a smell, and the present just evaporates.
Poof, gone.
Yeah, and it's not just thinking about the past. It feels like your whole body shifts gears. Why is it so physical, not just a memory?
That's the core of it, really. It's what we call interrupted contact. Something happened back then. Maybe you were shut down or ignored or criticized.
Right.
And that whole experience, that feeling, it never got finished, processed, completed. So the trigger now, your nervous system flags it as like danger. Remember this.
Because it felt dangerous then.
Precisely. Survival mode kicks in. So you don't just remember being small and biting your tongue. Your physiology actually reverts. You become that kid again, in a way.
Okay, that makes sense of that immediate tightness, in the chest. Or that feeling of wanting to curl up, shrink back.
Yeah, that internal, don't make waves, don't be too much void.
Exactly. So that's not me failing to be an adult. It's a defense.
A brilliant one, actually. Learned long ago. Your
Yeah.
nervous system, the vagus nerve, the fight or flight response, it's all lighting up.
Even if nothing bad is actually happening now.
Right. The breath gets shallow, maybe shoulders tense up. The body's ready for a threat that isn't there because it's stored in the nervous system, not just in the mind. And that's where we have to start just noticing what's happening right now inside before we try to explain it away.
That noticing part leads straight into this feeling of just being exhausted by it all. Like, even when things are going okay, you still feel like you're living inside their world, their rules, their energy.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Living inside their field, we sometimes call it.
Yeah. Why is it so draining? Like rehearsing conversations in your head, feeling guilty if you say no.
Well, think about how that pattern started. Survival, right? Belonging in that family system often meant, well, adapting. Maybe staying small, quiet, swallowing what you really felt or needed.
So safety was conditional.
It often was, yeah. It had to be earned. And your whole being, your organism, in Gestalt terms, learned to perform a certain way, to become someone else, basically, to keep that connection, however fragile.
Wow. And just keeping that performance up takes so much energy. It's realizing that love felt like something you had to constantly work for.
Not freely given, maybe not consistently.
And it leaves this ache or anger or just this deep sadness. And it's so tempting to just, analyze it or try to be spiritual about it instead of just feeling it.
That's a really common defense, the intellectualizing, the spiritual bypass. But the work, really, is to just let that raw feeling be there without fixing it. Maybe just, okay, if you're listening, try this. Put a hand on your chest or your stomach and just notice. What's the sensation? Is it tight, heavy, maybe numb, empty? That feeling right there, that's your body remembering. Holding that history of conditional love is trying to tell you something, maybe trying to finish something that got cut off way back when.
That feeling of something unfinished, that's the loop, isn't it, that keeps playing out?
Exactly. That brings us right into the mechanism of it. The key thing to grasp is, when you react strongly to family, you're usually not reacting to the present moment.
You're reacting to the past.
You're pulled back because something got left, undone, unfinished.
What kind of unfinished things are we talking about? It often feels so vague, just like tension.
It can be anything, really. A boundary you needed to set but couldn't, words you needed to say but didn't, a feeling anger, sadness, fear that you had to swallow, a need for comfort or validation that just wasn't met.
And that gets stuck.
It gets stuck, the nervous system packages it up, and then later in life, similar situations trigger that same package, that same unfinished loop plays out. You freeze or you get defensive or you try to please everyone.
Yeah, or you just kind of disappear. Like that old script, if I just stay quiet, maybe I'll be okay. Or if I do everything perfectly this time, then they'll finally understand.
Exactly, those scripts. And Gestalt therapy gives us a useful map here, the cycle of contact. It's like the natural flow of energy.
Yep.
You feel a need maybe for connection, maybe for space. You become aware of it. You mobilize energy. You think about reaching out or speaking up. You make contact. You get what you needed, satisfaction. And then you withdraw. Rest. That's the healthy cycle.
Okay, I follow that. So how does it get broken in families where maybe it wasn't safe to have needs?
Well, the interruption usually happens around the mobilizing or contact stage. You come to speak your truth or ask for something, and maybe it's met with silence or criticism, or someone gets upset. So your system learns, whoa, danger, don't do that.
Don't feel it, don't say it, don't reach.
Right, the energy pulls back, gets stuck, maybe your throat tightens, your stomach clenches, you hold your breath, and that becomes the default pattern later, people-pleasing, shutting down. It was smart, kept you safe then.
It feels huge to reframe it that way, not as I'm broken, but as I adapted brilliantly.
It was brilliant, intelligent, and let's be really clear, this is not your fault. Your system did exactly what it needed to do to survive that environment. The amazing thing now is that adaptation, it's optional.
Optional. Okay, so if the way out is finishing that cycle, completing it, how do you do that without trying to magically change the past?
You don't change the past, you change its hold on your present. You return to that moment of interruption, but you do it now, for yourself, somatically, emotionally.
Wow. What does that look like?
It means allowing the feelings that got stuck back then to actually move through you now. The grief for what you didn't get, maybe rage that's been simmering for years. It's about letting it shake you, letting it out.
Saying the things you couldn't say.
Yes, even if it's just out loud to an empty room. I needed you, that wasn't fair. I'm still angry about that. I deserved better.
Letting it be raw, not trying to pretty it up.
Exactly. Think of it as discharge, like letting stored energy finally flow. That's the completion. It's physiological.
Okay, discharge, completion. That feels manageable. Less like drowning in feeling.
Yeah. And while you do that, you also have to watch out for something called projection.
Projection, like putting your feelings onto someone else.
Kind of. It's more like what we haven't fully felt or owned in ourselves, we unconsciously try to get from others, or we see it in them. There's often this hidden hope, right? Like a strategy from the child part to you that believes, if I just try harder this time, or if I'm good enough, or if I shrink just a bit more, then they'll finally give me the love, the seeing, the approval I always wanted.
Oh, wow. That hits home, that hope. It keeps you hooked.
It really does. But here's the hard, liberating truth. They probably can't give it to you now.
Because they're dealing with their own unfinished stuff.
Exactly. They're carrying their own wounds, their own interruptions. They're human. They likely don't have it to give. And the moment you truly grasp that you are the only one who can truly heal you, that changes everything.
That feels like taking your power back, but also lonely.
It can feel that way initially, but it's about shifting your loyalty. From seeking it out there to finding it in here, it's about self-reparenting.
Becoming the parent you needed.
In a way, yes. Really consciously turning towards that younger part of you, the one who learned to adapt, and saying, maybe with a hand on your heart again, hey, I'm here now. I see you. I won't leave you. I'm choosing you, even if that means disappointing them sometimes.
Wow.
And just notice.
Yeah.
Notice if there's any softening inside when you offer that, when your own nervous system starts to trust you.
That's a huge internal shift. Moving the center of gravity back home to yourself.
That is the shift. That's what we could call the point of liberation. It doesn't happen when they change or apologize or finally get it.
It happens inside you.
It happens when you stop waiting, when you start living from your own center, breathing your own breath, trusting your own truth.
So let's picture that scene again. Sitting in the table, the usual trigger happens, that old tightening starts.
Yep.
But this time, instead of just collapsing into the old role, what's different? How do you respond instead of just reacting?
It's a space. You create a tiny space between the trigger and your reaction, a pause. In that pause, you notice, there's that old feeling, the defense pattern. You acknowledge it, but you don't merge with it. And then, from your adult self, you choose your response.
What might that look like?
Could be anything, really. Maybe it's just staying silent, but grounded.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a simple, calm boundary. That's your perspective. Mine is different. Or maybe it's calmly getting up and leaving the room.
It's responding from your center, not from the wound.
That's it, exactly. It's responsibility, the ability to respond.
And setting boundaries then feels different.
Very different. Boundaries aren't walls you build out of anger. They're more like creating sacred space, clearly defining what's okay for you and what's not. They actually allow for a more authentic connection, ironically, because the truth can breathe. Less reactive cycling.
It feels important, too, to kind of name the old strategies, the ways we coped, like the intellectualizing you mentioned or minimizing, oh, it wasn't that bad.
Definitely. Or over-functioning, trying to fix everything, or that silent, simmering rage that never gets expressed.
Recognizing them not as failures, but as really smart adaptations that maybe we don't need in the same way anymore. They're optional now.
Precisely. They serve their purpose. And this whole process, it really changes how we think about forgiveness, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's not about forcing it or saying what happened was okay.
Not at all. Real forgiveness, the kind that actually frees you, tends to arise naturally, but only after you've done the work, after you've allowed the grief, spoken your truth, felt the anger, and really let go of that hope that they will somehow change and fix the past.
So it comes at the end, not the beginning.
Often, yeah. It's less a gift you give them and more a release for yourself.
Right.
Like finally putting down a really heavy weight, a deep sigh, a softening. You're deciding your energy is better spent on your own life, your own becoming.
And the big takeaway here is this isn't a one and done thing. It's a practice.
It's a constant practice, a daily turning towards yourself. Every interaction, every internal wobble is a chance to ask, okay, what do I need right now? What am I actually feeling? What's true for me in this moment?
And the more you choose yourself, the more you complete those old cycles.
The less power that old field has over you. And interestingly, the more you tend to attract relationships that actually resonate with who you are now, that honor you.
It feels like daring to feel what you were taught not to feel, setting boundaries where you were taught to just comply. That feels huge, revolutionary almost.
It is revolutionary in a quiet, internal way. It's profound self-loyalty. And it's not selfish, it's sacred work. You're not broken, you never were. You're just completing something.
Yeah.
You're becoming more fully yourself.
So keep choosing yourself, keep breathing, keep feeling.
Yeah. Because really, that's everything. That's the path forward.